Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our respective panel. Today we would like to present our research project titled A Study on the Factors that Can Influence the Awareness Among Students on Sustainable Consumption. My name is Aqilah HANIS binti Ahmad DAMARI alias DAMANHURI and my partner is...
Hi, my name is SITI RAHIM binti Abdul.
Our supervisor is Datin Nor Syamaliah binti Ngah.
Okay, this study is about sustainable consumption. Sustainable consumption is a practice where people use minimal resources to ensure the accessibility and the existence of resources to meet the needs and demands of future population. Hence, it is crucial for people to acknowledge the sustainable consumption to ensure the sustainable development goals in sustainable consumption is achieved. Thus, this study is aiming to study the relationship in the theory of planned behavior, which is knowledge, attitude, and practice, with the awareness of students in sustainable consumption ideas. The problem that indicates to this study is that people are still lacking in acknowledge the sustainable consumption practice. This is proven in the research done by Yan Li in China chain store, which only 10% of the customer from the store have the willingness to pay for the sustainable products. Meanwhile, in California, study done by Sapors in 2017 found that only average of people willing to pay for 1% of green appliances. And in Malaysia, a study done by Zakaria to study about the renewable and non-renewable energy product found that only 21.7% people prefer to use the non-renewable energy. Meanwhile, the rest of the respondents did not know the Malaysian government effort in promoting the sustainable consumption and sustainable product. It can be concluded from the previous study that people are still lacking in acknowledging the existence of sustainable consumption. Realizing the problem, this study aiming to know the awareness of students on the sustainable consumption based on their knowledge, attitude, and practice.
This is our research question and research objective. Firstly is to identify the relationship between knowledge and awareness of the student on the sustainable consumption. Second is to study the influence of the attitudes of students on the awareness in the sustainable consumption. And lastly is to determine the relationship between practice and awareness of the student on sustainable consumption. As you can see that research question is a reflection of the research objective.
In this study, we have 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. The independent variable consists of knowledge, attitudes, and practice from the theory of planned behavior, and the dependent variable are the awareness among students in sustainable consumption. The independent variables is knowledge, attitude, and practice is because in theory planned behavior, it is found that the theory suggested that these 3 elements could suggest why people act in a certain way. Hence, when people have knowledge, they tend to have the awareness. This is found by most of the study, stated that knowledge may influence the awareness of people in any ideas. And next, attitudes. Attitude showing that when people do something means that they are aware of the idea. And then lastly, practice. Practice means the lifestyles of the people. The lifestyle of the people showing the knowledge and the awareness of people in the sustainable consumption.
As mentioned previously of the conceptual framework, this is our hypothesis of this study. Overall, we have 6 hypotheses whereby we have 2 hypotheses for each relationship. This is our research methodology. As you can see that our research design is quantitative cross-sectional survey. Unit analysis is students among UiTM Seremban 3. Our sample size is 320 respondents chosen among UiTM Seremban 3. Our sampling technique used is convenience sampling technique, in which the respondent among students of UiTM Seremban 3 because it is easy to access and close to researcher. Next is data measurement. Nominal will be used for the demographic profile part. All the variable will be measured using AHAMAD 2019 content of 36 items of independent and dependent variables. This variable will be measured using Likert scale 1 strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree. Data collection is a questionnaire survey that contains several sections. Section A is the demographic profile, Section B is knowledge, Section C is attitude, Section D is practice, and lastly, Section E is awareness on sustainable consumption. For the data analysis, in order to examine the research objective, the researcher has used a Pearson correlation. This is our demographic profile. For gender, majority of the respondents are female with 65.6%. Majority age is within 21 to 23 years old with 75.6%. Current academic undertaking, majority of the respondents is among bachelor degree students with 83.1%. And the faculty mostly are from FSPPP with 62.9%. Majority of the respondents prefer to have an Instagram as their social media with 83.4%, and lastly, most of the respondents involved in the environmental activity with 63.4%. This is our hypothesis testing result. As you can see that our first objective is to identify the relationship between knowledge of students on sustainable consumption, factors that can influencing the levels of awareness on sustainable consumption. We employed Pearson correlation. Our result has discovered that there is significant relationship between knowledge and awareness with R value is 0.261 and P which is significant level equal to 0.000. Therefore, we accept HA1 and we reject HO1. Second objective is to study the influence of attitude of students on the awareness in sustainable consumption. We employ Pearson correlation. Our result has discovered that there is insignificant relationship between attitudes and awareness with R value is 0.048 and P significant level equal to 0.394. Therefore, we accept HO2 and we reject HA2. Lastly is to determine the practice have relationship with the awareness of students on sustainable consumption. We employed Pearson correlation. Our result has discovered that there is significant relationship between practice and awareness with R value is 0.176 and P equal to 0.02. Therefore, HA3 is accepted and HO3 is rejected.
Based on the finding of the study, the researcher recommend two recommendations to improve the awareness of students in the sustainable consumption. First, to integrate environmental education on formal education system in Malaysia. It is found out that there is no formal education that specifically focus on the educations of environment. Hence, it is recommended for the government, the system of education in Malaysia, to integrate formal subject, specific subject on environmental education. And next, to increase more mass media promotion. Nowadays, mass media found to be the most influential to influence people. Hence, it is easy to make people acknowledge any idea through the promotion in mass media. The researcher faced few limitations during the study. First is limitation in distributing the questionnaire. This is because the study was conducted during the pandemic of COVID-19, which all of the students are at their home and there are some of them that having problem of internet connection. Hence, it is not easy for the researcher to collect the data from the respondents. Next is the researcher is lack of variables in terms of connecting the factor and awareness of student in sustainable consumption. And lastly, the lack of recent research. In terms of recent research, there are not much of recent study based on the subject of sustainable consumption or the awareness of people in sustainable consumption. In a conclusion, from this study, knowledge and practice of green lifestyle may have the relationship with the awareness of students on sustainable consumption, which it shows that if they have knowledge and they practice the green lifestyle, it is means that they aware about the sustainable consumption. Meanwhile, the attitude does not have the relationship with the awareness, means that the awareness of attitude and the awareness and attitude are not related, because sometimes people may have the awareness but they don't have the attitude of green lifestyle or sustainable consumption practice. Therefore, knowledge and practice of green lifestyle resulting to the awareness of student in sustainable consumption. Thus, a depth study is recommended in future to know more factors that influence the awareness of student in sustainable consumption. That is all from us. Thank you.